Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Sunday Morning Coffee with Lisa. I'm spiritual coach Lisa Hopp. It is Sunday, January 26, 2020. Thank you so much for joining me today. I have not been on for a few weeks, thanks to a bit of an illness. It was a kind of sinus near bronchitis, and it took my voice, caused me massive coughing, drained me physically. So I have not been able to work, and I've been coming back slowly into a work schedule. And if you are one of my listeners who also watches my videos on YouTube, I need a little bit more time for that because I'm not ready for prime time yet. Now, this morning, I was coughing. I was having coughing fits. So if that begins during this broadcast, I apologize ahead of time. I am going to try not to, and hopefully I will keep my voice. I appreciate you all for listening to my podcast and all the positive feedback that you give me. It's just so humbling. And I'm so honored and I'm so grateful. And I just can't tell you that enough. Before I went on radio silence, I received an email from a listener who had a request for today's topic. In their letter, they told me that they were someone who knew the power of positive thoughts and faith and beliefs and how we speak, because what we put out, we do get back. That's why it's so important to be of positive thought and mind beliefs, and to also to watch the company you keep, because who you have around you also attracts what you have going on in your life. Something to think about. But the purpose of their letter was that even though they work on all of that, they've had a lot of events happen, one after the other, that was causing them to be challenged emotionally. It's like they didn't get a break. 1 minute they would get a flat tire, and then the appliance would go, and then this would happen, and that would happen. And there was no regrouping time. There's no recouping, and being able to stay on top of it all emotionally and mentally. So they were writing to ask me if I would please cover what someone should do when they're inundated with events that cause them to really be challenged and to perhaps even cause some depression. What can we do to lift ourselves up? Now, amazingly enough, because I believe that everything happens for a reason, everything's timely. As many of you know, who are weekly listeners, I had a family health crisis in December, and then Christmas too. So it was a very draining month in a lot of ways. And so, in all honesty, I was not surprised by getting sick in January. Matter of fact, the minute it happened, I went, I'm so mad. So mad. You know where this is coming from. Because I didn't take care of myself enough. I was burning the candles at both ends. I wasn't eating healthy enough because I was spending all day in a hospital, and I was not really, taking the time to eat right, all of that. And so I did it to myself. I opened myself up, and then I was drained, as I told you. So I also felt like I had a December and a January that had me feeling sad. And the inability to be able to work, to not only have the energy to even mail a book order that I was receiving, it just had me really down. So here I am in the place that I have to lift myself up. I have to work on how I feel emotionally and mentally and spiritually at the same time that my listener is asking me to address it. So firsthand experience. So here's what I do. And it's different steps, and I may take them out of order. It's important first to know that it's all right to be overwhelmed or sad. Don't block it. Don't bury it. Don't suck it in, because that's where the hell stuff comes from. That's the truth. Our bodies are only reacting to how we feel and our environment. It's not our fault. It's just the way it is. Every single one of the health challenges I've had in my life have been through what I have allowed to happen to myself in my relationship area. My rage, my anger, my lack of fulfillment have all come out in Health Matters. I know that. So I work on it diligently now so that it doesn't happen in the future. So that's why I was very upset about January. Because I slipped up. But it's put in the past. I am forgiven. And I know to try not to let that happen again. But you have to feel the emotions. You have to acknowledge them. You have to know it's all right to be human. And through knowing that it's all right to be human, you're loving and accepting yourself. It's all right to feel the way you feel. But don't dwell on it. Don't drag it out over weeks, days, weeks, months, years. Let yourself have a moment. Cry it out in the shower. Cry it out in a pillow. Run it off. Whatever you need to do, get it out. Write a letter if it's a person involved, and then burn it. I've learned that it's not always best to always vent to someone, to take it out on others, because it only boomerangs back to you. Even if it involves them, even if they rightfully should get it, it's all right to express yourself. But to build up, and then hammer them, it only leaves you with all kinds of emotions, because often that person on the other end is either not really, they're not ready to receive it, and they're not going to give you satisfaction most of the time. So, and then you feel bad. And maybe it isn't the person who has it coming, but it's a store clerk or operator on the phone. And so we always want to make sure that we don't take it out on others, how we're feeling. But we do have to get it out. So in a moment, take a day, and then you work on uplifting it. You work on healing it. And the way I find to lift my spirits is, I have various things, and there's different things for everybody. I went right to work in the last couple of weeks on planning future vacations, because it gives me something to look forward to. It gives me something fun to look forward to, something lighter. It gives me a purpose. I can research vacation spots, talk to my friends about their budgets, love the pictures, start to have the visions of it, manifesting it, bringing it about. That it's almost like I'm giving myself something to live for. Even if you don't think it's possible financially, which, by the way, can always change and is only a perception. Get together in your mind when you need an uplift. What am I doing in the future? What can I plan on? What can I research? What am I going to do for myself once I get out of this? Another thing I do, and so important, and I caught myself doing this too. Here I am, I'm sad, I have no energy, and I'm watching things that are making me feel worse. You got to stay away from the negative news. That doesn't mean that all news is bad, and it doesn't mean that you shouldn't be informed. You just have to know when to back up from it. We're in a place in our world right now where there are so many liars. They're lying straight at us, and they're doing it so easily. I don't know how they sleep at night. And I, by nature, am not a biased person. I read everybody's energy. And I have to say, one of my pet peeves are liars. And so it's very hard to watch. And it's hard to watch someone or people say honest people are liars because they don't match my personal facts. So when you have this ball of energy at this time, this ball of divisiveness, this burden of hate and bigotry and nonsense, utter nonsense, you gotta give yourself a break. Because it can literally tear you apart, your inner self and your outer world. But it is good to be informed because you're not supposed to be in this world ignorant. You're not supposed to be a sheep. We are here at this very time in this world to plan, to build our futures. We are here as a divine part of the infinite plan of our planet and our universe. All of us are part of it. All of us matter. I wish more knew that. Because there are so many that say, I'm not going to participate in politics. I'm not going to listen. I don't want it on my timeline. Well, you weren't created to be someone's puppet. You weren't created to be part of a herd. You're a divine creation of a divine source. You are a massive, infinite being with the power to light up the universe. If you only knew you had the power to do so. So use your divine mind and your intuition and your ability to discern and lead in your world. Don't follow. And always live in your highest consciousness. Not in the lower base that we all have. Our base and our root chakras. Where the ego and the fear and the insecurities lie. You're better than you even realize you are. And so many people in this world right now are better than they're choosing to be. Be your greatest. That's why you were created. Another thing that I do, besides back up from things that trigger me, I'll watch funny movies or romantic movies or read great books. I just got a book today. It's from Christine Northrup. And it is a book about, it's like a encyclopedia of what to eat and how to live and what to stay away from. And she's such a wonderful expert. And I saw the book and I went, I've got to have this just as a resource, as a reinforcement. A lot of it I knew, but I wanted it on hand, like my own little well-being Bible. And so that inspired me, that lifted me up to place that book in my hands. Also, Connect with friends that are positive and supportive, that love you unconditionally. And if you don't have people like that in your life, ask for them, because what we ask for, we receive. Have people around you that you can spend a minute saying to them, I'm overwhelmed. This is what's going on. Thank you for listening. I feel better now. And then you laugh. And if you love a good glass of wine, you can then have that. And if you don't, that's okay. Another thing. It's important to eat right when you're feeling sad and depressed, because the worse you eat, the worse you feel. Go more plant-based with a small amount of protein. Eat light, eat healthy. Stay away from the fast food, the processed food. You might even have to stay away from alcohol if that is something that will cause you to get very melancholy. Exercise. You don't have to go to the gym and lift weights. Yoga, walking. Some love to jog. These are things that chip away at what we're holding on to. I'm going to cough 1 second. Sorry about that. Meditation. Meditation does not have to be just about You can stare at a candle or stare out the window and watch the traffic go back and forth. If you're on a very quiet highway on an early part of the morning when no one's around, don't close your eyes. But yes, you can zone out. And you can talk to all your people in heaven right then. Meditation centers us. It gets us into present. It takes away our fears and our worries and our what ifs. It gives us peace. It gives us calm. It gives us serenity. And it helps us to heal in every way. Now another step, another thing you can do, another key, and be responsible with this one, is that you are allowed to spoil yourself. Get your nails done. Go to the mall and get something you've been wanting to purchase. But yes, purchase. But do it responsibly, of course, because you don't want to do anything that makes you feel worse later. But if you're one that tends to put yourself on the back burner or needs a lift, and that's your way of lifting, it's all right to go out and do that. As I said, that's why I purchased a book today, because it lifted me when I looked through it. Sometimes it's just window shopping and browsing that will lift you up. It's important to give yourself this time in order to help yourself, body, mind, and spirit. And all in all, even when you're going to work, it's important to be in the moment at work, especially if you're one that is challenged by your job. When you're in the moment, time flies and time works for you better. You'll get your tasks done sooner, and you'll also get out of work sooner. And when you get out of work, it's important to leave work behind and to do what you love, whether it be with friends or family. So to recap, stay away from negativity that you're exposed to on Facebook, Twitter, any form of social media. Exercise. Eat healthfully. Do activities such as plan vacations, browse at stores, buy something that you like, spend time with positive, inspiring, supportive friends. As you do this, believe it or not, your body, including your spirit, including your physical self, will heal. You will be in a healthy state of mind, body, and spirit. There's a lastly. I hope I don't lose it. Oh yes, here it is. Back to the friends. Sometimes we have to do housekeeping. If you are overwhelmed and there are people in your life that only add to it, it is best to cut those relationships. If there are people that you cannot cut, such as family, hang up the phone, give yourself space, back up. Because family can kill us too. You are worth it. You deserve it. You always in this life have to do what's best for yourself. With kindness to others, with respect, with integrity. But it is okay always to love yourself. And you are the example that others will follow in treating you. Treat yourself good, they treat you good. Treat yourself horribly, and last, no one will come through for you. It's so important to keep that in mind. Thank you so much for joining me this week. I appreciate you so much. I hope somewhat of that helped. Always remember that you are important. You matter. Always put yourself first. It is the way it is supposed to be. I will talk to you another time. Please be sure to share this with others. I'm very happy. My subscribers on YouTube are going up, and I haven't even been on YouTube, so that's something. Please also go on to my YouTube channel where this recording is also available, and like and subscribe. I would appreciate it so much. And please tell the people that you care for to find it all as well. I'm going to sign off now because the voice is getting a little bit weaker. Once again, thank you so much for joining me, and many blessings for this week ahead. May all good come to you. Prosperity, health, love. You are an ultimate creator. And I hope that everything you're trying to create comes to you this week, immediately. Thank you all again. Bye-bye for now.